day to make that progressive push, and it starts right here on the Wake Up Call.
Most definitely. It starts right here. If you're just getting out of bed, lucky you. Good morning. Welcome to the Wake Up Call. Go take a stretch. Make sure you thank him. Some people say her for waking you up this morning. Some people did not make it to Monday, November 8th, 2021. All right? Some people are not in a very good position this morning. But whatever little you can thank him or her, whatever floats your boat right about now, thank them for, you should go ahead and do so, all right? Adopt that attitude of gratitude and find something to be thankful for and say thank you, all right? As we're talking about saying, giving thanks for all that we've got, giving thanks, whether or not, giving thanks for the life we live. I'm giving thanks now. Woo. Good morning.
Morning, Crystal.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, you did well. Two small things before I get into my subject. I use the opportunity that Extreme provide me platform to say, I hope my humanity friend is getting better. I'm referring to Slider, okay?
Okay.
And the second thing,
I think he is.
Well, I just hope so. In the interest of being a human being, I'm hoping that he's getting better, okay? Yeah. And another thing again, I want to make an appeal to Nisha Banker. I haven't heard her for quite some time, and there is need for people's views like Nisha on the radio, and I kind of miss Nisha because I don't necessarily agree with her most of the time, but I respect her position and how she should think. And the other thing I want to speak about, you mentioned this morning the issue of Taiwan, right? I don't know what Vincent Chan could point to development in St. Vincent from a foreign policy standpoint. The Fiat marshals and them will say, oh, well, we are sitting at the UN and we're the smallest country representing on the United Nations. That may be so, but what are we benefiting from that? The amount of money we spend and put campaigning in voting commerce yourself to get a seat at the United Nations. If we concentrate spend that money on the development of this country, we'd be miles ahead than just to having a seat to speak on the issue of global warming, which is need to be speak about. But I want people to listen to me carefully. Listen to what was said recently by Prime Minister Mayor Motti of Barbados, and listen to what was being said over the years by Louis Straker and Ralph Gonsalves, and come to the conclusion, when you think about it, if Mayor Motti is miles ahead of all the combined politicians.
I think she's centuries ahead.
Well, she is ahead. Definitely ahead.
She's
okay?
So.
And I tell you something, Crystal. Over the years, we've been prostituting ourselves in the interest of Taiwan. We go and we speak on the international platform. We want the United Nations to recognize Taiwan. You and I will live two more lives, Crystal, and that will never happen. You know why? Mainland China is not going to ever relinquish the time on Taiwan. So we could continue to prostitute ourselves and say, when we get a chance, we're going to speak loud for the UN to recognize Taiwan. That will never happen, I say. And we get a drop in the bucket from Taiwan. And you said earlier, there's a trend going on that we may get some improvement in our healthcare from Taiwan. Hello. Hello, that is really serious. Visitors are listening. So James Mitchell stood as Prime Minister for 17 years. Did you impress with his efforts for healthcare? He got sick. He flew to Barbados. Somebody put a stone. When we were young, we said chop the Prime Minister in here because I don't believe he was a boss and these are just a chop. What you know? He flew to Barbados.
It was recommended that he fly out.
17 and 20 is how much?
37.
Combined years. So James and Ralph Gonsalves spent.
You are forgetting 3 months from Mr. Eustace. What was wrong with you?
Mr. Eustace,
3 months.
Mr. Eustace is a class by himself, you know why I tell you so?
Okay.
Mr. Eustace is one of the best projects in this country ever produced, but never was given a full term to develop his ability as Prime Minister. So let's not point our hands at him.
Let me ask you something now, right? So you're basically touching on the trending things that I started out with. Are you going to end up with the last story there?
Which story you want me to comment on?
With the clergyman that was stripped of his title.
I'm going there, don't worry.
Okay, I'm just making sure that you're actually going there. All right? Okay, just making sure. Go on, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, Vincent Shalala said, and I listen to this, check the amount of years. 2 leading prime ministers that when time come, when they left us, we go say they were prime minister and they did extremely well. But you know, poor people like me and you have stump it to the hill. If you don't have no money, if you go buy rob, every rob with the poor people doctor, you can't go nowhere, right? And that is how the state of the healthcare. We championing for Taiwan. Taiwan, we're doing all kind of lobby for Taiwan. What you get? So Learning Resource Center, they close up like a old freeze. And we get a little help from the Yes Set program where you exploit people to see you give them job experience. That's what we're championing for.
Okay.
And the last point, Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
I am looking for a job and I want you to recommend me to be a co-host on the program because I'm scraping the bottom of the bar to survive because the airport's out there.
Wait, no. That cannot be the last point. You remember you said that you are getting there. I am waiting for you to get there.
Well, no,
this is your penultimate point.
I'm getting to the point where you want me to comment on the clergyman, right?
Because that's where I'm going now. So I'm waiting.
What I think about that, it's terrible. I hear you commenting about it, and I try to wrap my head around it. How could people abuse people? How could, as you said earlier, people who got raped, women, are they taking so much time to deal with that thought? That is something that we could never grab to deal with in Crystal. That is a scar that we carry for life. And the issue of the clergy people, well, I tell you something. They say, and if your mama lies, she might know that. They say it is easier for a wise man to go to heaven, right? But a sinner is not going to even get through. You know why? Because the entrance to go to heaven, it is a small hole and a needle that you have to pass through. And half of it ain't going up there. Dave said he going. Well, Dave, if you going there, I go in heaven too. Crystal, I gone.
All right. Have a wonderful day. Big up yourself there, Kingsley. All right. Good morning. So one of the trending stories that we touched on this morning, and the phone lines are going again. No, I am going to go there with what happened in the Anglican Church in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All right? There is where I am going right now. Okay? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sister Crystal. I just wanted to give you a little support on what you said there.
I want you to go where I am about to speak on.
Yes, what you're speaking about is the matter of Taiwan.
No. Hold on. The first part of the shift, every morning we deal with trending issues, right?
Okay, yes.
Kingsley commented on all of the trending issues. And then I was waiting for him to wrap up with the situation that is going on at the Anglican Church. That is where I'm going. So this segment here is about...
Could I want me to call back another?
Yes, please. Maybe Wednesday. Thank you. Or next week. All right. So what we were talking about earlier this morning, all right? It was announced yesterday that a senior clergyman was stripped of his title. If you're just joining and you missed that segment, he was stripped of his title in the Anglican Church in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. After years of keeping a case of sexual abuse quiet. The woman, the victim, finally confessed, finally spoke about what happened. It happened years ago. But she finally came to terms with herself and probably her God and did what she had to do. She spoke. According to what was shared, the perpetrator did not deny, and he was stripped of his title of senior clergyman in the Anglican Church. Sickening. As I said before, very sickening. Let me touch on first. She took many years before she came out and spoke. Many years of probably battling with herself. She was abused sexually many years ago, and it's only now in 2021 she's able to stand up and speak about what happened. I don't know what it is about men who either get into high positions because they want some form of protection, or men who are in high positions and feel that they are protected and feel that they are entitled and feel that they can rape and sexually assault women and get away with it. I do not know for the life of me why men who have certain positions feel that way. And you might feel as well, maybe this is some sort of psychology. Extremely charismatic individual. The worst, because everybody believes, oh my goodness. Especially when it's somebody who's coming from the church. Because there is a particular image, there is a particular expectation as a church man, as a church leader. There is an expectation. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why you feel that that gives you a right to sexually abuse women and then think that you can get away with it. You see, the ones who you should be afraid of most are the ones who are extremely charismatic. Why I keep stumbling on this word? They got plenty charisma. They could talk good. And if a woman comes out and says, you see that man over there? He sexually abused me 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago. Automatically, you see people going on the perpetrator side because they just cannot imagine. They cannot put a particular image in their head that a man who is quote unquote so nice would do something like that. I feel like sometimes they are that way because they know what they have done. But how do you feel? The position that you had, you were a leader. How do you feel? How you to sleep? Knowing that you put a woman through that sort of stress and trauma for most of her life. How do you stand in front of an entire church for years, knowing what you did. You swept it under the rug. You thought that she would never speak about the sexual abuse that was done years ago. Yes. It might have happened when she was a teenager. It doesn't matter what age it happened and what was happening to you at that time. You did not deny it. Sickening. Absolutely sickening. And you have the heart to stand up in front of an entire church for years with that baggage. They was right, and I'm going to speak dialect and bad English, they was right to put you out. The Anglican Church has a reputation to maintain. And that is God's reputation. The Bible's reputation. There is a silver lining in all of this. And we will take your comments from WhatsApp and on Facebook as well. WhatsApp is 4301043. If you want to call, 4571043. Facebook at Extreme 104SVG or even YouTube, right? There is a little silver lining in all of this. That it was not swept under the rug. That her issue was not belittled. That she was actually taken seriously. That they didn't try to cover it up. That they were transparent. That they were accountable to God first and foremost. That they were not hypocritical with this. They did the right thing. Hello, good morning.
Crystal morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
Yes, I did listen to the program. But the program is why she wait so many years now to bring out this thing here.
As I was saying before, many women wait. You want to listen to the response off air?
Yeah, but attacking. But what happened?
I'll answer you off air because
he has summer with woman. He has summer with woman just put himself in a thing sometime. And when we looking for we don't get it, it does cause a problem. You understand? And if you go to somewhere and you see something go wrong, you're supposed to come out and speak out. You understand? And a lot of ladies go in church for certain things. You understand? And then there's mash up a lot of relationships. You understand? I give the pastor wrong, but when she should not be in this relationship going all the time. And then needed some of we women needed to when we see fellas must left them alone. But like some fellas just carry half track. So that's why you plenty of we just get used. You understand?
Okay.
So we needed to put ourselves together.
Okay.
Yeah, all right then. Okay,
all right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Women take let me tell you something. Who feels it knows it. Women will take time to speak about certain things. Do you know? Do you know what it feels like to be raped? Do you know what it feels like to be assaulted? What I hate to hear is when blame is cast and fingers are pointed at the victim. She should have worn this. She should have done this. She should have done that. She should have said this. She should have avoided that. How about he should not have raped her in the first place? Women who are fully clothed are raped. Little girls, 5, 6, 7 years old, are raped, are assaulted. Little boys too. Tell me, when we talk about rape and other forms of sexual abuse, what on God's living earth can a child do? a child. We are talking about rape. Across the board. No matter the age, rape is rape. Do you understand what rape is? Do you understand what sexual abuse is? It is stripping the other person of power. For some people, it is taking away their virginity against their will. It is saying to a woman, or a child, or a man, that he or she has no value. Do you understand that for a victim, it is extremely difficult for him or her to come out and say, I was raped? To feel belittled, to feel close to suicide sometimes. Suicide where you want to take your life. This is what some people go through in their lives at the hands of a wicked and nasty individual. I am trying to help you to understand why you should stop pointing your fingers at victims of rape. Stop it. Some women never speak. Some women find the courage to speak instantly. Some women take days. Some women take weeks. Not every woman is as strong as another woman. Every case is different. And I expected this kind of response this morning. I expected it. Because this is how society works. And this is why disgusting men are able to get away with these things over and over again. Because they can hide behind the curtains and shadows of people are going to blame the victim. I have a big job and I have a position. I could buy my way out of it and I could talk my way out of it. Because people are going to believe me over the victim. After 5 years, they don't come out and say anything. Maybe they consider at that time they have gotten off. But moon does run till they catch them. One of these days, and I know a couple of you are listening who are guilty of raping. Guilty. One day, it will come out. Even if you are 99 years old, it will come out. There is one solution to rape. One solution to rape. And every time we bring it up, I'm going to get to the calls in a bit. Every time we bring it up, it does not come out. The solution to rape is to not rape in the first place. That is all we women are asking for. Some respect in this place. Respect from men and respect from women. Respect my decision to wait years before I can come out. To wait years before I can come to grips with myself. To say that man who I am seeing on the pulpit, who I am seeing talking to other women, that man there raped me when I was 15. Give some woman some respect. Sometimes we are too hard on our victims, too hard unnecessarily, because we don't understand. That is called ignorance. The height of ignorance. If you do not understand, do not comment. If the man confesses, he knows what he did was wrong. Absolutely wrong. But you want to say to the woman, she should have done X, Y, and Z. Cut that out. Cut it out. the man shouldn't rape in the first place. All women are asking for is respect. That is all. And some women, not some women, sorry, some men are in high society with the wife and the children and are still making advances on women. You know another sickening thing about this thing? Is when people ask, why didn't she scream when she was getting raped? Why didn't she fight back? Why didn't she run? Why didn't she this? Why didn't she that? Why didn't the victim do this, that, and terror? You ever been in them kind of things there? Do you know what it is to go into survival mode? Some women could fight off because that is their body's response. Some women do not fight. They don't, because all they want to do is to get out alive. Because when men rape, which is the cause of rape, some men even go as far as killing. Stop asking those questions to our victims of rape and sexual abuse. That is one of the reasons our women do not come forward. That is one of the reasons our men are able to get away. Too many men are not held accountable for their actions. Too many men. If they are in your organization, and you know this happens all over the place. This particular story is with the church, and there was a level of accountability, something that you do not see. Something that is too uncommon. That is a very thin silver lining in this entire story. Too many men are allowed to get away. There are men in high society in SVG, and I want you to prove me wrong, who are not held accountable for their actions, who are actually encouraged to go out and rape and take advantage of our women here. Take advantage of our vulnerable women who are afraid to speak up. Swept under the rug, put into the closet. Their jobs are kept and they're able to continue doing it to multiple women because they are never held accountable by the people who know the nastiness that they are doing. So take a page out of the Anglican Church's book. Take the book, take the entire bookshelf as a matter of fact. These things just get me real upset. Very, very upset. Because I always think back about the stories that I've made before in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. All of these stories. Too many. And believe it or not, there are stories that have never gotten into the media. This is what women have to put up against. It is a crime to be a woman. It is a sin, apparently, just to be born with a vagina. That is it. That is all we did. To get all of this, I'm asking the men, please, you also have to be there for the woman. If you know one of your brethren them, or somebody in your organization, guilty and confess, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Because what you are doing is enabling that sort of action. You are an enabler if you say nothing. If you do nothing, you are an enabler. And you're just as bad. You're just as worthless as the man who has stripped that woman of her power. I could never, ever have respect. You see once I know? You will never get any respect whatsoever. None. I'll take the calls and the comments right now. Hello, good morning.
You've touched me. You really touched me the way you're coming out strong. I've never heard a female radio announcer in this country come out the way you're coming out on this. I really wish you were around a long time ago. Because, as you say, too much of this has happened. And what hurts is that people will still continue to get away with it because they have money, they have political power, and it's like they're large and in charge of all the women, the young girls, the virgins in this country. You know, I really have to give you all that support. So these are things that I've thought about, I've considered as a man. I know the temptation could be there. But what does temptation lead us to? You know, so I really have to call back. I've said my piece already, and already I've gotten good feedback on what I have said. But how many of us are willing, are prepared to talk about it? And that's why I'm commending you this morning, because this will certainly be the talk of the tongue for those who have been hiding, who are, you know, I've heard so many of these stories, so many. It's that I know what it's all about. And as you ask the question, how does it feel to be raped? Against, you know, well, rape is what it is, but I have had to think about it when I hear how men would rape, would rape women. How could you risk doing such things? How could a man think about doing that? But then, yes, some men will say, I'm not a man, so I am expecting that too. To tell you how conscious, how sensitive I am to this thing. It's a very delicate thing to deal with. It's an age-old sin. Read about it in the Bible. I can't remember, there's a particular story about that. You know? Mm-hmm. But, like I said, it will continue to happen, and we need more women like you. And that's why you have touched me with the way you're passionate, the way you've come out, you have expressed in non-certain terms what it is for a woman to be raped and how she can, you know, it must be a nightmare how she can get herself out of this. I don't know. I really don't know. But I thank you very much, and I appreciate the way you're dealing with it. And I hope those women who are listening can appreciate as well what you're saying. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, same to you. Thanks. I have a question, right? If today every woman were to share her truth in this country and were to call the name or names of men in this country who have sexually abused them. I wonder, how long will that list be? What will it look like? What sector of our society would have the most names? I wonder. But we will never know. We will never know. I am going to take a break at this time. There are quite a number of comments on Facebook and WhatsApp that I will get to in our next segment. I will get to them in our next segment. I hope that you are going to take the next 10-15 minutes to think about all that is shared for the entire morning. Sex is supposed to be pleasurable. Sex is supposed to be between two consenting individuals who either are in love or want to be in it for the benefits, whatever. It is supposed to be pleasurable for both parties. It is supposed to be an agreement between both parties, between adults. That is how it was designed to be. According to the Bible, it was designed as well to be done during marriage. But you know the reality of the world today. That is how it was designed. Okay? And to think about sickening. A man being on top, how what goes through the man's mind knowing that the woman is not enjoying it? Knowing that all she wants to do is get up and run. What goes through your mind? What? Knowing that she's bawling for her life, you hearing her scream, and you just continue. What goes through your sickening mind? Time for the break. We're going to get to some ads. We're going to get to a 10-minute segment that is sponsored right now. All right, we're just a minute behind. We're going to end the live. Thank you so much for joining us. We will get to your comments. Will. All right, and thank you for sharing as well. We'll be back at 8:30. During that time, we'll share your responses, all right?
Wear designer brands like a boss this month with the style